for end of the month invoicing, where you're transferring jobs from Fusion to Skimmer, you're going to go to the jobs that you have saved. These are the jobs that throughout the month you were putting as job closed or invoice later. So you're going to go to accounting and then down here to create invoices. You're going to go ahead and read the jobs. Now, typically these are less than 300, but as we're getting closer to the end of the month, no matter the amount, it is saved into here so that the customer only gets one invoice. So what you're wanting to do is you're going to go into the job, and from here you're going to quickly read what we did. So it says that we installed a new DE filter and multi-port, and what you're going to do is you're going to compare your completion notes to your invoice. It said we installed a filter and a multi-port. So right here you can see did the filter, multi-port, unions, and none of these are blank. And this has a quantity for labor. So it looks like we're good. And this came from an estimate, so we're not really changing it. But this, what you're doing that quick check is just, does this match what the description is? And it does. So we're going to go ahead and transfer this to Skimmer. We're going to put that in there. So I'm going to go to Skimmer. And in Skimmer, it's going to be a work order. So over here on the left, go ahead and go to work order. I want to make a new work order. So I'm going to click add new work order. And this is going to be a repair. So I'm going to choose action needed repair. Our customer was Kathy. And the work needed, I'm going back to Fusion. I'm just going to grab this. So this is kind of the notes, what we did. And I can even put in here, transferred from Fusion. Okay. Now we're going to transfer this. Now, one of the differences is the tech is actually going to be us. And the reason the tech is us is because on our cell phones, we're going to have to mark these complete. And we're going to do it on the day that's going to be easy to access it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it for the 30th because that's the day that I'm back in. I'm going to hit save. And now it's not here because we were in the new field. So every time you create one, it kind of just moves its way down. So the new becomes scheduled. So then I'd go into scheduled. And also because you're putting it under my name, it makes it easy because we really shouldn't have very many. So here we have this one that we just created. I'm going to go into it. And now it's going to say work performed. Work performed is going to be these notes right there. I'm going to copy those notes. I'm going to put transferred from Fusion. This was done. Okay, so this was done on 6/14. Completed 6/14 by Cullen. And then I'm posting the notes of what we did. So I want to hit save because I've found, I'm hitting save, but I'm going right back into the job. What I found is if you put the notes in work performed and you come down here and add your installed item, it will actually delete your notes. So add your notes, hit save, come back into the job. Now we need to add all those items that were actually in there because we're kind of creating that invoice. So we have a filter and multi-port. Complete unit right there. Now that price is a little different than what our price is. Always go with the Service Fusion price because Skimmer does not sync with QuickBooks where it updates the pricing. Okay, if you ever have this done, I like to cut and paste it, but I do forget that it doesn't like the commas. So I have to say paste it and then delete it. If you have two screens, you could have it open on Skimmer and just enter the amount so you don't have to cut and paste. Oops. I'm I'm going to just go back because it kind of screwed it up a little. We're going to start from the beginning. It was a filter and multi-port sleeve, which was great, except for our price was different, $13.74. I don't think it liked that cut and pasting I was doing. Okay, so there's the filter. Now, that's not the only thing. The next thing is 2-inch male unions. So then I'm going to come over here, product, male union, there it is. And again, I'm going with this price, not the other. However, they're the same, which is great. Be very, very careful that you're getting the quantity right. Because yeah, I could put $18.95, but this quantity is 3. So make sure that's what you're doing. So now I've got that on my shopping list. The next thing is plumbing, and we did quantity 1 at 95. We're going to add PVC. Plumbing quantity was 1 at 95. Save that. Got a list of items going, and let's see, the last one is labor. So labor you can't add as an individual item, but you add it up above. So now we have all 3 of these. Then it says up here, labor cost and labor price. I am never sure exactly which one they're saying was my cost, as in that's how much I paid out, and the price being what the customer pays. So what I do, just to make sure that there's no confusion, is I go ahead and I put the same in both fields. For my labor cost and for my price, I put $300. That way, no matter which field it actually puts on the invoice, it's the same. I hit save. I now have 3 products plus 1 labor. I want to come over here and make sure I had 3 products plus 1 labor. And again, I check my quantities. So that's going to be transferred over, and this one is complete on it. So because this one's complete, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, okay, let's invoice this. I don't really want to invoice it in Service Fusion because I'm just transferred it to Skimmer so that it can be on the end of the month invoice. So consequently, I'm trying to invoice it just to get rid of it in Fusion to show that it's taken care of. So we invoiced it, but now we want to come to the invoice. Very importantly, we want to make sure that we 101 sync it so that it doesn't show up in QuickBooks and actually double bill them. And then I just follow that same process again and empty out that queue. I'm going to go back to how I did at the beginning. Accounting, create an invoice. I'm just going to go to the next one. And once I'm done, I'll transfer it over. So I'll do one more really quickly. Go into the job, read my completion notes. We replaced a pump housing, no leaks. Job was complete. So then this invoice should match. My invoice says a pump housing and installation. Okay, and Carrasco Buyer was the name. So I'm going to go into Skimmer. We're going to do new. I'm creating my basic invoice. Doing down here, action repairs. It was Carrasco Buyer. And then I'm coming back here. Pump body replaced estimate. That's what was wrong. I'm putting it for me so that I can edit it, mark it complete later on. Oh, it's no longer new. Remember, that's because it'll be over here under scheduled. Still listed as me, so that's great, easy to find. Find the job I was working on, hit edit. I want to get my work performed. Transferred from Fusion. Completed 6/22. 22 by Jordan. All right, and then I'm going to grab my completion notes. Completion notes, and remember I'm going to hit save, which is going to kick me out. And I'm going to Go right back into it. I'm going to add my product. My product was just a product that wasn't saved. See how it was just product repair? And then we typed in the words Hayward pump body. So that's exactly what I'm doing here, Hayward pump body. I need to check my quantity. My quantity was 1. The rate was 401.55. 401.55. I'm going to hit save. All right, so now the other item that's on here is labor. Remember, I'm not adding it as an item. I'm adding it up here, this labor cost. So I'm doing 150 and 150 for the price for labor. Hit save, and I'm done. And then I go back to Fusion, and I want to go ahead and invoice it. And I'm going to go into the invoice and 101 sync it. All right, then I'm going to go back and keep doing the same thing until this whole queue is done. As you can see, it can take a little bit of time. So spend your time and give yourself the time you need to get that done.